What's up guys, it's James here, and in today's video, I'm gonna talk about the number one biggest mistake that I see people making when they get started or when they're currently investing in short-term rental properties. This is a huge mistake that I see people making that leaves them huge money on the table. It also costs them money. I see people losing tens of thousands of dollars because of this. So I'm gonna break it down for you in this video. Now, before we dive in, I wanna let you guys know about a really exciting announcement that I have for the channel and for everyone here. Is that I've recently put together, I worked for a number of weeks to put together a free training that's gonna walk you through exactly how to successfully invest in short-term rental properties. This is specifically focused on buying properties. If you wanna buy properties, invest in properties for short-term rental, so use them as Airbnbs, as vacation homes, then I highly recommend checking out this training. This training's gonna walk you through the three critical components, the crucial steps that you need. I've now worked with a number of different real estate investors, helping them to invest in short-term rentals. I'm actively investing in properties myself and co-investing with other people. So I've learned a whole lot, and I wanted to share my best practices. I wanted to share with you exactly what you need to do in order to invest successfully in short-term rental properties and make sure you're not losing money and that you're maximizing your returns. So if you want to learn more about that, then the link is down in the description below. You will not want to miss this training. It is brand new and it's not going to be around for long. So make sure you check it out in the link in the description below. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into this video and let's talk about the number one mistake that I see investors making. And to be honest, I see investors, first-time investors, brand new investors making this mistake, but I also see veterans making this mistake, which honestly kind of blows my mind. But it just goes to show that you really, even if you do have experience investing in other forms of real estate, whether it's multi-residential, maybe you're doing flips, maybe you're wholesaling, whatever it might be, if you're investing elsewhere, that doesn't mean that you have all the know-how to go and invest in a different type of real estate, being short-term rentals. So you want to watch out for that. I see a lot of people that are more veteran in real estate that are still making the same exact mistake, and it's a huge one. It's a doozy. This one costs you literally tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on just the extent to which you make this mistake. And so really what this mistake is it all comes down to lack of proper analysis. And I see it breaking down to a couple different kind of categories. I see some investors that just lack the proper analysis in the most brutal sense of the word. They just literally don't actually do the analysis. They don't run the numbers effectively. And then I also see some people running the wrong numbers. And then I also see people that are running the right numbers the wrong way. So they're, doing the right approach, doing the right analysis, but they're doing it the wrong way. So they're getting bad data into their analysis, which is causing inaccuracy. And any one of these can be very, very detrimental if you look at it, because it can turn a good deal into a bad deal like that. It can be really, really detrimental to your investing. And any deal that you get in early on that has, that's going to really impact your long-term growth prospects. So if you lose $10,000 on a deal right now, for some people that might not be very significant. You might look at it and go, oh, it's, cost of learning, not that big of a deal. But if you look at the 20, 30, 40 year value of that money, if it's invested properly, you're literally knocking hundreds of thousands of dollars off of your nest egg. So that's why I really want to address it in today's training. And I want to talk about each different one of these categories. And I also want to share with you at the end of the video here what you need to do to make sure you are running proper analysis on these properties and that you're getting these diamonds in the rough. You're finding the best deals out there that other people aren't seeing. So the first thing that I see that's going to be really easy to address is just, people not running the numbers. There's a few people out there that I come across, they'll talk to me, and they basically just go and use their best guess, and they just kind of buy a property that they think will do well on Airbnb. They look at it and they go, well, this market looks like it's good, and this property looks like it would do really well on Airbnb, so I'm just going to go and snatch it up and buy it. That is an awful strategy. Subscribing to this idea that real estate is always a good investment, that right there is a really, really bad mentality to have, because there are lots of people that have lost their shirts to real estate deals gone bad. So you need to be really diligent. Real estate always can be a really great investment if you're investing properly, if you're analyzing your deals the right way. So do not let yourself fall victim to that trap and become one of these people that just, guesses and doesn't believe in analysis or doesn't utilize analysis. Really what you have an opportunity to do here is stack the deck in your favor. Think of real estate like a card game where you have the ability to stack the deck in your favor. And if you're not doing proper analysis, then you're not doing that. You're just choosing to go and play your odds at the table, and the house always wins. So next, let's talk about people that run the wrong kind of analysis. This is what I see pretty often with people that are coming from a long-term rental investing background, or they've already been learning about long-term rental investing, and they just are running the long-term rental investing numbers and then figuring, well, if I do it on short-term rental, then hopefully it'll do even better than that. Well, that's also the wrong approach. And sure, if you run the long-term numbers on and it makes sense as a long-term rental, then you have that to fall back on. So that is great. However, you are leaving a whole bunch of money on the table by not actually looking at the short-term rental data, because if you look at the short-term rental data, you'd be able to find properties that not only have a good fallback plan as a long-term rental, but also are incredible high performance as short-term rentals. So although you may have that nice backup plans that mean that your downside is protected, you're not really maximizing your upside there because you're not looking specifically for properties that are geared to do exceptionally well as a short-term rental. Now, number 3, the big mistake that I see people making as far as not doing proper analysis, the third kind of way that shows up and manifests itself is people running the right numbers, but using the wrong data to influence those numbers. So these are the people that have the right tools for analysis, they've got the right approach, but they're going and just, for example, looking at Airbnb. They're comparing their property performance, they're basing their occupancy rates, they're basing their nightly rates on other properties on Airbnb, what they're seeing those rates at. This is a massively flawed approach for a number of reasons. Number 1, first and foremost, is that your numbers are going to be about 15% too high right off the bat because you're not factoring in, more often than not, the 15% or so markup that Airbnb adds to these properties. Airbnb has to make money. So there's a chunk of what you would see as a guest. If you're looking at a property as booking it as a guest, what you see as the price is not what the host actually ends up with in their pocket. So there's that inflation that's going to happen in your numbers just because you're looking at Airbnb. Now, the other thing is that you're looking at a biased data set. You're looking at the data for properties that have not been booked, because if they were booked, you wouldn't be able to find them for those dates on Airbnb. So if you're looking at all the properties that haven't gotten booked, then you're probably again looking at prices that are overinflated. You're looking at only one part of the data, and that's going to lead to your data being inaccurate. Now, the other big flaw with this is that a host on Airbnb can set their price at whatever they want. I can literally go right now on my property and I can lower my price down to $9 a night, or I can rack it up to $9,000 a night. That doesn't mean that $9 or $9,000 a night is the optimal price to set it at. It just means it's what I decided after I had whatever I had for breakfast today that I wanted to set my price at. Now, because of this, you really need to make sure that you're looking at data on what properties actually got booked for, not what the host is setting the price at, because ultimately that number is really just whatever number the host had in mind. So in order to do your analysis effectively, if you want to run proper analysis with the right data, you need to, number 1, do the analysis in the first place. Number 2 is you have to have the right tools and systems to run analysis specifically for short-term rentals. And you need to have the right tools and insights and training to be able to figure out which properties exactly in a given area perform the best on short-term rental. And again, that's all stuff that we talk through, and we actually give you some tools. We walk through all that stuff inside the free training link down below. So I'd highly recommend that you check that out. Now, the last thing you need is you need the right data to put into these analysis tools. Because at the end of the day, if you run the right analysis but with the wrong numbers, then you're just getting crap in, crap out. So what you need to make sure that you do is go to data mining websites. So for example, AirDNA is a great one that a lot of people are familiar with nowadays. that is a site where you can actually go and grab the data from how listings are actually performing, what they're actually getting booked for, what the occupancy rates really are, and you can see exactly what a host is actually earning, not what the price is set at, but what it actually gets booked for. Now, if you use those tools, you also need to know how to use them, because it's not as simple as just going in there, plugging in some numbers, plugging in an address, and it'll spit out projections for you. You need to be able to actually manipulate that data, know what it means, know how to use it to formulate the right projections. And again, all that is stuff that we talk about inside the free training link down below. So once you take all those steps, once you run the right analysis with the right numbers in the right way, then you'll be able to actually identify these diamond in the rough properties, the ones that are going to give you a massive ROI. Until then, you'll want to stay away from short-term rental investing and not touch it with a 10-foot pole, because you're more likely to lose your shirt than anything else. Because ultimately, if you're going into any form of investing without properly educating yourself, you're really just gambling. It's not investing at that point. It's like kind of looking at a chart of stocks and just grabbing whatever one you like the ticker symbol for. That's not investing, that's just gambling. You're just taking your best guess at it, you're throwing a shot in the dark, and it's more likely to end up being a loser than it is to be a winner. So if you want to equip yourself with the right tools, the right strategies, the right systems to be able to actually become an investor, a diligent investor, get great returns on your investment, and get incredible cash flow from your properties, then I highly recommend, again, checking out the link in the description down below. That's where we link that free training that I just put together, walking through all the steps of how to successfully invest in short-term rentals. I hope this video has been really, really valuable to you. If it has, give me a quick thumbs up, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot with the channel. I try to bring you as much valuable content in these videos as possible. So just make sure you hit that thumbs up button, give me a like on the video. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.